Let's shoot for the stars, light the fire that gets us going, get our head in the clouds, and have a skin like a rock. I tried, whatever. But that's what this game does. It tries. It tries its best. It makes a game that's easy enough for 5-year-olds to play, but incorporates just enough to be an arguably good take-that game. Eliminis, Illuminis, Eleminis, like elements and luminous, I think it's Eliminis, is a 2 to 4 player card game playing best of 2 or 3 for pacing. It can play in about 20 minutes or less by using card drafting and take that. To keep it simple, draw a card and decide to play it in anybody's area of 5 slots, whether you want to play in your opponent's or your own. These cards can fill a spot or replace a spot. Each card scores differently, whether it's unique, doubled, stars, or trash, so keep that in mind when you're playing. I like the accessibility and the availability of this game. Simple turn order gives this a broad appeal to new families, family game nights, filler game nights, and similar settings to everything I listed earlier. The strategy isn't deep, but tries enough to give players a feeling of chance, replacing cards to keep the game going. If someone's trying to race to the end, you can stop them by giving them something that can make their score go lower. The anxiety of having trash in your slots and seeing everybody else race to the end and you have to get rid of this trash or give it to somebody else. The artwork pops with zany flair, cute little characters. Look at this trash. Look how cute this trash is though. He ruins me. The move actions are a great way to really alter the direction of the game. For example, the recycling card literally lets you remove a card from the game. It's top tier in my opinion. This is Eliminis. Inside the box you will find a deck of cards, including all the action cards and the character cards, which are the 5 elements: rock, air, water, fire, grass, plus the star wild, and the trash card, which is a negative 20 points. Keep in mind, you cannot win if you have this in your hand of 5. So how do you play? Let's look over the gameplay. So each player in the game will go through a set of moves. You'll draw a card, look at it, and then play it. You can play a card in a couple of ways. You can replace an opponent's slot. You can fill your opponent's last slot. You can fill one of your own empty slots, or you can replace one of your slots. So what does that mean? So there's nothing on the field right now, so my first slot, I'll go ahead and play fire. So then my opponent goes, and he's like, all right, I'll just play rock here. Okay. And then I go again, because we're doing a 2-player game. I'm like, okay, air, great. I could just play it in my slot. You always have to play a card. He goes, he has a star, obviously he wants to play this. I go and I have a fire, okay, perfect. So I don't want to play a fire in my slot because the objective is to have one of each element in your 5 slots, and then you yell Eleminis or Eliminis. I don't know how to pronounce it. Eliminis. Once you fill your slot with 5 unique characters, you win the game. Or at least you end the game, and then we do points, and I'll explain points later. So obviously I don't want this in my field because you know, that's not going to help me win. So what I'm going to do, I could do a couple things. I could replace a card depending on which card that they're able to attack. Now, unfortunately, I can't attack any of his characters because, you know, there is no grass or air in his area. So what I could do is just kind of play it in his field, which could benefit him. We'll see. So then he goes, and he has another star. Obviously, he's going to keep it. So then I go, and a trash. So I'm actually going to put the trash in his field. Now that's pretty great. He cannot win the game with trash. He has to remove it, and the only way to remove it is with a star or with one of the action abilities. So I go and I have an air, and this is pretty cool. So it looks like water or rock. So I don't want another air in here, so I'm just going to go ahead and replace his and put this in the discard. So he goes and he has a rock. Well, he needs the rock, but he can't do anything. He has to play it, so he's going to give it to me. Then I go and I have a fire. What I could, I'll do this right here. Look, I'm ruining his game here. Now he has double the fires. And then he goes he has a move, so he can actually move the trash to me. And that was a great move. And you're doing this, right, until eventually... You're doing this until eventually somebody fills their 5 slots with 5 unique cards, right? And this would be the representation of plant. So how do the points work? So each unique Eliminis would be 10 points, and 5 points for each double. Every star is 20 points, and every trash is negative 20 points. So in this game particularly, it looks like I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 points. He would have 10, 20, 30, 40, 45, 55, 65. So he actually won this round, even though he has the double fire. To be honest, I don't know what I don't like. With 4 players, it's not fun when everybody gangs up on one person because it ends the game too early. And I know that doesn't make sense strategically, but you're playing with people. It's a mass-produced variance of people who could play this. So you don't know what people are capable of, especially when it comes to strategy. They can all gang up on one person, the game ends just like that. Calculate everyone. What, you got 5 points? Good job. Are you happy? Like, are you happy you did that? And also too, without action cards, it could really unnerve the pacing of the game, because when people are playing cards that can influence their score or harm or hinder other people's scores, if there's no action cards coming out, you can't really do much besides hope to replace cards before somebody fills up all their slots. Honestly, my thoughts is I think that this is a great beginner game for learning take that and card drafting. It's super simple with zany graphics to maintain a level of atmosphere that this isn't to be taken too seriously. It's family take that at its finest. I've gotten some good 10-minute runs out of the game playing with 2 players or 3 players, and it's easy enough to just reshuffle and go back into another round. So if you think that this is something that you want to shoot for as far as stars go, or if this really lights the fire that gets you going, or if you're just trying to cool down with some water, keep your head in the clouds, or have keep it rock solid, what do you think? Do you want this? What's your favorite element?